It rains in Portland again. I walk to the office before anyone else does, because that's how I like it. My gray raincoat goes on the hook by the front desk. The umbrella drips on the tile. Outside, the sky is the same flat color it's been for 9 days, and the buses on Burnside hiss past with their wipers going. The morning routine started about 2 years ago. I make 2 cups of coffee in the small break room every day. One for me, one for Reed. He never asked me to do it. I don't talk about it. The only people who know about those 2 cups are me and him, and even he doesn't say much. There's a cold mug on the counter from last night. A thin, oily film sits on top, like a small skin. I dump it out. The smell is strong and a little sour, the way old coffee gets when nobody drinks it. I rinse the mug and start over. Trader Joe's brand, the cheap ground stuff in the red bag. 2 cups, 2 saucers, 2 paper napkins. By 8:25, the floor is still quiet. The mail icon on my screen shows 3 new messages. None of them are important, but I sort them anyway. My job is to make the day run smooth for one person, and that person is Reed Holt. Reed walks in at 8:30. He always does. He stops at my desk, picks up the mug, and says, "Thanks, Tova." He smiles. I smile back, but I don't say anything. He walks into the glass room, the corner office that everyone here calls the fishbowl, and closes the door behind him. My eyes hold on the glass for a second. Then it's back to work. He has access to nothing on my computer, but I have access to everything on his. That's how assistant work goes. I open his calendar and put in the day's notes. Reed has a 10 a.m. with the Bayview client. Reed has a 1 p.m. with HR. Reed needs to sign the supply order before Friday. Small things. I know his week better than anyone, including, I tell myself, his wife. Then I stop and fix the thought. He's not married. I've been here 2 years, and there's no ring, no photo on his desk, no story. He's not married. That's what I believe anyway. The coffee shop downstairs is called Otis. It sits on the corner of Stark and 3rd, next to a dry cleaner with the same yellow sign since 1987. Every morning around 10, after Reed leaves for his client meeting, I go down for a drip coffee. I don't really want it. I just want to be near the building entrance at the same time he might come back. This morning, Theo is in line in front of me. He turns around and his eyebrows go up. "You always wait for Reed, huh?" My face goes hot. "No," I say, "too fast. I just like the rain." Theo laughs in that low way he has, like he's holding a secret for fun. "Sure, Tova. Sure." My eyes drop to my shoes. They're wet. I'm not going to say anything else. That was a lie, and we both know it. Bea is on the couch when I get home. She's eating cereal out of the box with her hand, watching some cooking show with the sound low. We've been roommates for 10 months, since the divorce went through, and I couldn't afford a 1-bedroom by myself anymore. Bea is the kind of friend who notices things you wish she wouldn't. "You're too quiet lately," she says. "Are you okay?" "Just tired." That's my second lie of the day, if I'm counting, and I'm counting. My room is small, with 1 window. I lie down with my coat still on. Out on the street, the rain is steady, and somewhere, down the block, a car alarm starts up and stops. There's a thin crack running across the ceiling that looks like a river. I count my breaths until they slow down. The next morning, I'm at my desk by 7:50 like always. The 2 cups of coffee are made. The mail icon shows a new message from the director. The subject line is in all caps. Big news. Senior sales manager position open. 6 months ago, the director took me aside in the hallway after a quarterly meeting. He said the next opening, the senior spot, was going to be mine. He said, "You've earned it, Tova." I have held on to that sentence ever since. I read the email 3 times. My mouth turns up at the corner. It's the first time in weeks I've felt anything good. The next week, the office talks about nothing else. Senior sales manager, 40,000 more a year, a corner office, a path that goes somewhere real. People at the front desk congratulate me before it's even mine. I let them, because that's what the director said. On Thursday, the director calls a big meeting. The whole sales floor crowds into the conference room with their notebooks and their cold lunches. I sit at the far end of the table. Reed is across from me, scrolling his phone. He doesn't look up when I come in. The director clears his throat. We've got a senior sales manager spot opening at the end of the month. After thinking it over, I want to put 2 strong people in front for it, Reed Holt and Tova Park. I'll let you both know my choice by the 30th. My pen stopped on the page. 2 names. Mine and his. Mine was supposed to be alone on that list. Reed still doesn't look at me. Not a glance, not a nod. He nods at the director. His face stays flat, and his thumb keeps moving on his phone. I'm quiet for the rest of the meeting. I write small circles in the corner of the page until it's over. 2 people from accounting touch my arm on the way out and whisper, "Good luck, Tova." One of them says, "You deserve it." I nod, because I don't trust my voice yet. After, I head to the kitchen to make a coffee. Cheap coffee maker on the counter, paper cups stacked next to it, that Trader Joe's snack bag everyone eats from when they forget lunch. I pour into 1 cup, then footsteps come up behind me. "Hey," Reed says. Soft, the way he is when he wants something. I don't turn around. "Hey, I didn't know they'd put my name in too." I really didn't. I make myself smile before I turn around. I push a 2nd cup across the counter to him, the way I always do. "It's fine, Reed. May the best person win." He took the cup. His fingers brushed mine for 1 second. Warm and dry. I think he meant it. I'm sure he meant it. My heart goes fast like I'm a kid, and I hate that part of myself. He walks back to the glass room. I stand at the counter with my cup of coffee getting cold in my hand. I shouldn't have done what I did that weekend, but I did it anyway. Sunday afternoon, I made tea, opened my laptop on the kitchen counter, and signed into the work mail. I have full access to Reed's inbox. That's how assistant work goes. I told myself I was checking for calendar conflicts. I wasn't. His sent folder showed an email to the director from late Friday. The subject line was blank. I opened it. "Boss, I want to be straight with you about this senior spot. I've worked harder than anyone on this floor. Tova is a good assistant, but she can't handle pressure. The Bayview thing last spring proved it. Let's talk Monday." Reed? I read it once, then again, then a 3rd time, just to be sure my eyes were doing what I thought they were doing. The Bayview thing was a vendor mistake, not mine, and Reed knew it at the time. I sat in his office for 3 hours that week and walked him through every step of the cleanup. He knew. The kitchen stool got hard under me. The fridge hummed. I closed the laptop slow and didn't cry yet. B came home with grocery bags and found me there. What happened? Nothing. Just the rain. That's another one. She watches me for a second. Then she puts the bags on the counter and doesn't push. That's the thing about B. She knows when you're lying, and she lets you do it anyway, the same way you let her eat cereal out of the box. Monday morning, I'm at the office at 7:50. I make 1 cup of coffee. Just one. I sit at my desk with the mug warm in my hands and wait. Reed walks in at 8:30. He stops at my desk. His eyes go to the empty space where the second mug usually sits. He looks at me. I look back. He doesn't say anything. He walks into the glass room, closes the door, and sits down at his laptop. I watch him through the wall. He doesn't come out for an hour. At 9:45, Theo slides up to my desk like he's been waiting for the right moment. He puts his elbow on the corner and leans close. You should hear what he tells the director. About you. My eyes lift. What are you talking about? He drops a small thing on my keyboard. A USB drive. The cheap silver kind you get in a bulk pack at Office Depot. Open it tonight. Not here. Tonight. Then Theo walks away like nothing happened. Back to his cubicle, back to his phone calls. I pick up the USB. It feels cold. It weighs almost nothing. I slip it into my pocket and feel it there all afternoon. This small piece of plastic. This small thing I haven't opened yet. I waited until B was asleep. The light in her room clicked off around 11. I sat on my bed with the USB drive in my hand for a long time before I plugged it in. There were 2 files on it. One was an audio file, about 3 minutes long. The other was a photo. I clicked the audio first. There was static, the kind you get from a phone pressed against a desk. Then Reed's voice came in. He was laughing. Look, she wants this job too much. She'll break the first time someone pushes her. Trust me. I know her well. Another voice said, You're sure? That was the director. I knew the flat, gravelly voice from 100 staff meetings. I'm sure, Reed said. She's good at the work. She doesn't have the spine. The director laughed. Not a polite laugh. A real one, deep in his chest. Then the file ended. For a long time I didn't move. The room was quiet. A siren went past on Burnside and faded toward the river. My laptop fan came on once and stopped. Then I cried into my own hands. Not for long, just enough. After that, I opened the photo. It took a second to understand what I was looking at. A coffee shop, brick walls inside, a window with rain on it. Reed at a table, in a green sweater I'd never seen on him, laughing at someone across from him. The someone was a woman with short brown hair and a thin gold ring on her left hand. Next to her, in the booth, were 2 small kids in puffy jackets. A boy and a girl. The boy was maybe 4. The girl was younger, in a high chair, holding a piece of toast in one fist. Theo had written a small caption under the photo. His family. From Seattle. They drive down every 2 weeks. Coffee shop on Mississippi Avenue. The date on the photo was 3 weeks ago. I texted Theo. My fingers were shaking, and I had to type it twice. How did you get this? He wrote back fast. My sister waits tables there. She recognized him from his LinkedIn. She took the shot from the back of the room. I didn't write anything else. For a long time after, I sat on the edge of the bed with my laptop hot on my knees. and thought about every morning for 2 years. The 2 mugs, the small nod when he came in, the brush of his hand on mine in the kitchen. I had never asked one single real question. I'd been an idiot. At 6:30 the next morning, I went to the office without makeup on. I didn't make any coffee at all. I sat at my desk with my hands flat on the wood and waited. Reed walked in at 8:30 like he always did. He stopped at my desk. His eyes went to the empty space on the counter. "Good morning," he said. He smiled. Just a little. He was waiting for me to do my part. I didn't. "How's your family in Seattle, Reed?" His face changed. He went pale in 1 second. I watched him try to speak and find no words. He turned and walked into the glass room and pulled it shut behind him, hard enough that the wall shook. Then I heard the small click of the lock on the door. I stayed at my desk. I sorted 3 emails. I deleted a meeting request. 10 minutes later, his head came out around the frame. "Tova. In here. Now." I got up and went in. He pushed it shut behind us. "Who told you?" he said. "Does it matter? My wife doesn't know I work here. Please. What does she think you do?" He rubbed his face with one hand. "She thinks I work in Seattle. I have a place there too. I go home every weekend. 2 lives, 2 cities. And me?" He looked at me. His eyes were very tired. "You're a friend, Tova. A good friend. A friend you said couldn't handle pressure." He didn't answer. The silence sat between us for what felt like a full minute. I could see the floor of the sales pit through the wall. People moved around with coffee cups. None of them looked in. "I'm sorry," he said finally. "Please, Tova. Please don't tell anyone." I walked out. I didn't say anything to him. I went past my desk and through the lobby and out into the rain on Stark Street. I stood there with the rain hitting the top of my head and didn't move. The buses went past. The dry cleaner sign blinked yellow, off, yellow. A small decision came to me standing there in the cold. No more crying. I had already cried enough for 2 years' worth. That night, I sat at the kitchen counter in my apartment. Bea was at her boyfriend's place. Mine was empty. I opened my laptop. I looked at the photo again. The woman, the 2 kids, the booth. The caption had a word in it I hadn't really seen the first time. A name. Cleo. Cleo Holt. I searched her on Facebook. She didn't have much privacy on her account. Her profile was right there. Public photos, a yoga studio in Seattle, her 2 kids at a pumpkin patch last fall. Real. Very real. I opened a message and started typing. "Hi, I'm Tova Park. I work with your husband, Reed, in Portland. I don't know how to say this in a kind way, so I'm just going to say it. There are some things I think you need to know about him. About me. About what I thought we were. I'm sorry to write to you like this. If you want to talk, I'm here." My finger sat on the trackpad a long time. I read it 3 times. Then I clicked send. I watched the little line move from sending to delivered. I closed the laptop. I stared at the wall until the heater clicked on, and then I stared at the wall some more. She wrote back the next afternoon. 3 sentences. "Tova. Yes. Can we meet? Please." We picked a coffee shop neither of us would normally go to, a place on Hawthorne with hard wooden chairs and a chalkboard menu that had been the same for 10 years. It was raining when I got there. She was already at a table by the window. a paper cup in both hands, a thin gold ring on her finger, a black raincoat folded over the back of her chair. Cleo Holt, the woman in the booth in the photo. When she saw me, she stood up. We didn't hug. We sat. "Thank you for writing me," she said. "I thought you didn't know." That was what I'd come to say first. She looked down at her cup for a moment. "I knew about Portland. I knew about you." The words took a few seconds to land. "What?" "He told me about you 3 years ago. He said you were his work wife here, that you were close. We weren't close." I wrapped my hands around the paper cup of coffee I hadn't even ordered yet. I was his assistant. I made him coffee. Tears slid down her face slowly, without sound. She didn't try to hide them. "He said you knew about me and didn't care. That you were fine with all of it." "I never knew you were real," I said. "Not until last week. I thought he was single." We sat there a long moment. "He lied to both of us," Cleo said. She put her phone on the table between us with the screen up. "I want you to see something." There were texts, long threads of them, going back months. My name was in every one, written like a curse. "Tova is sad and bitter. She follows me around. It's a lot. She wants me, but I'm yours. Just be patient with her. She'll move on." My hands shook so hard, the cup made a small ring on the table. I pulled them back into my lap. "I'm sorry," Cleo said. "I don't know why I'm apologizing. He did this, but I am sorry." I tried to find something to say and couldn't. We sat there for maybe 20 minutes without talking, while the rain came down on the window and the man behind the counter steamed milk for someone else. When I left, Cleo touched my hand once on the way out. We didn't say goodbye. B was home when I got back. She looked up from the couch. "Where were you?" I didn't answer. I went into my room and shut myself in. I stayed there until it was dark outside, and B had stopped trying to knock. That night, I wrote one email. To the director. Subject line, blank. I attached 3 things. The audio file Theo had given me, the photo of the family in Mississippi Avenue, 4 screenshots from Cleo, which she'd sent me on the way home. I typed his name at the top of the message, Reed Holt. Then 4 sentences. "This is Reed Holt. He lied to me. He lied to his wife. He lied to you." I sat there a minute. Then I hit send. After, I walked to the window and looked out at the rain on the parking lot below. A man was loading a dolly into the back of a truck. A small dog stood on the wet sidewalk. I said it out loud, to no one. I'm done waiting. The office is quiet at 8:15 the next morning. By 8:45, the director walks past my desk without looking at me and goes into the glass room. Through the wall, I can see Reed at his computer. The director sits down across from him. They talk. Their faces don't move much. The conversation goes on for 40 minutes. When the door opens, Reed walks out first. He doesn't look at anyone on the floor. He stops at my desk. He doesn't sit. He puts both hands on the edge. "You ruined my life, Tova." He says it soft, no anger in it, just empty. "You ruined it yourself," I say. He walks away. I watch him go to the elevator. The doors slide shut, and he's gone. Theo comes over a few minutes later. He's grinning, this small private grin, like he's been waiting his whole career for a Tuesday like this one. "You did it," he says. I don't smile back. I look at him until his face changes, and he walks back to his cubicle without saying anything else. In my chest, there's nothing. 2 weeks after Reed was fired, the director called me into his office. Tova, we need to talk. I sat down. The chair was a little too high. You shouldn't have read his email, he said. That's our system. Our system is private. You broke a rule. He lied about me. He lied to all of us. Maybe so. You still broke the rule. I'm sorry, Tova. We have to let you go. Today. I held very still for a second. What about the promotion? It's gone. For both of you. I walked back to my desk. They'd already left a paper box on the chair, the way they leave a paper box when they've decided in advance. I put my things in it. My gray raincoat, one spiral notebook, 2 old coffee mugs I kept in the bottom drawer. That was everything. The box was light. Nothing of his went in. I carried it across the sales floor. It was quiet. 40 people had pretended not to be looking at me for the last hour, and they were pretending now. No one stood up. No one said anything. Theo wasn't at his desk. He was on a sales call somewhere in another room, or he had stepped out to a coffee shop, or he had simply made sure not to be there when this happened. I stopped at the office door one last time. I turned and looked back. The glass room was empty. My desk was empty. The Trader Joe's snack bag was still on the kitchen counter. Outside the window of the conference room, the rain was starting up on Stark Street again, soft and steady, the way it had been the morning I made the first cup of coffee for him 2 years ago. Then I walked out. A month later, I sat at the coffee shop under my apartment and worked the laptop. I sent my resume to 11 places. 3 of them wrote back to say they were going in a different direction. The other 8 didn't write at all. I called the companies my old friends had told me to call. The voices on the other end said, "We'll absolutely give you a call back, Tova." They didn't. I knew why. My name was bad in this town now. The story of what happened in our office had traveled, the way office stories always travel. Somewhere along the way, I had turned into the woman who read her boss's email. Not the wronged one, the mean one. B sat with me one night on the couch with a bowl of pretzels between us. The TV was off. "Maybe move to another city," she said softly. "Get a clean start. Seattle, Tacoma, anywhere." I didn't answer her. The thought sat between us for a minute, and I didn't pick it up. A few nights later, I was on LinkedIn just scrolling. I shouldn't have done it, but I typed Reed into the search bar. He was there. The profile picture was new. He had on a navy blue shirt. He was looking right at the camera, and there was a small expression on his mouth that I knew well. New job, Senior Sales Director, Pacific Coast Group, Seattle, Washington. Started 2 months ago. In the background of the photo, you could see a corner of a kitchen, and in the corner of the kitchen, just barely, you could see the shoulder of his wife. They were still together. Of course they were. I closed the laptop and walked to the window. The Portland rain was coming down on the parking lot below, the way it always did. A man was unloading a truck. A small dog stood on the sidewalk again. The same one or one just like it. The kitchen counter behind me had a coffee cup on it. Just one. I'd only made one. There was nothing on the other side of the counter. No second cup, no warm circle on the wood where it should have been. I stood at the window and watched the rain.
This story was hard to read because Tova gave so much meaning to small moments that meant almost nothing to read. the coffee, the waiting, and the quiet feelings. She built a whole world from them. In the end, the real lesson was not about love. It was about knowing your value before you lose yourself trying to be important to someone else. Thank you so much for watching and share your point of view in the comment section. See you in the next video.